My friends and fellow citizens, today's hot topic is delimitation under the pretext of women reservation, the representation and risk of democratic imbalance, the future of Indian democracy. My friends, it is not just about delimitation. This is about the balance of power in India's democracy. India's proposed expansion of Lok Sabha reportedly around 850 seats, 815 for the states and 35 for union territories, along with 35% reservation for women, is being projected as a forward-looking reform. However, when examined alongside the likely consequences of population-based limitation, it raises a deeper constitutional concern. Could this exercise structurally concentrate political power in a manner that weakens federal balance and plural democracy? North-South divide. Babasaheb Ambedkar said in his book, The Writings and Speeches, volume number 1, Thoughts on Linguistic States, there is a vast difference between North and the South. The North is conservative, the South is progressive. The North is superstitious, the South is rational. The South is educationally forward, the North is educationally backward. The culture of the South is modern, the culture of the North is ancient. My friends, with the proposed delimitation, a structural shift in political power is expected. Available projections indicate that the Hindi-speaking belt share may rise from 38.1% to 43% in the Lok Sabha. The southern state share may fall from 24.3% to 20.7%. This is not a routine redistribution. It is a reconfiguration of political weight within the parliament. Over time, such a shift can reduce the bargaining power of certain regions, notably the southern states and northeastern states, influence national policy priorities, and alter the balance inherent in India's federal structure. So it will become from representation to dominance, a constitutional concern, my friends. The Constitution envisions representative democracy within the federal framework, not a system where numerical concentration alone determines national direction. If one set of states consistently acquires disproportionate parliamentary strength, it creates the possibility of centralized decision-making with limited regional negotiation, reduced ability of some states to influence national legislation, and a tilt towards majoritarian tendency policy making rather than consensus-based governance. This is not an abstract fear. It is a structural risk inherent in the unchecked population-based redistribution. Then it amounts to breaking the federal assurance. My friends, through 42nd Amendment 1976 and then the 84th Amendment 2001, India made a conscious choice. States that controlled population growth would not lose representation. A shift now to strict population-based delimitation risks penalizing governance success and undermining that constitutional assurance. Then women reservation, a progressive but contingent. While women reservation is a vital reform and it is welcome, its linkage to delimitation raises concerns. It delays implementation. It ties a social justice measure to a politically sensitive restructuring exercise. This sequencing must be reconsidered. Then the deeper democratic risk. The concern is not merely about seat numbers. It is about what sustained structural changes can lead to over time. If electoral representation becomes heavily skewed, parliamentary outcomes may reflect numerical dominance rather than federal consensus. Diverse linguistic, cultural, and regional voices may find reduced space in decision making, and the checks and balances inherent in plural democracy may weaken. In such a scenario, the nature of governance itself can gradually shift from inclusive federalism to centralized majoritarian system. Then, the safeguarding the constitutional order. To prevent such an outcome, India must ensure balanced representation criteria in the delimitation. Population must be balanced with federal equity, development outcomes, and geographic consideration. Protection for states with population control. Progressive states, notably the South, not to be structurally disadvantaged. Transparent and neutral delimitation, clear, uniform and publicly scrutinized transparent criteria are essential. Then decoupling women's reservation. Women's representation should be implemented independently and immediately. Then broad national consensus. No structural change of this magnitude should proceed without wide agreement across the states. So my friends, India's constitution is resilient, but its strength depends on how institutions and processes are shaped over time. Delimitation must not become a pathway to weakening federal balance, reducing regional voices, and concentrating political power in a way that alters the spirit of the Constitution. This is not about imputing motives to anyone. It is about recognizing structural consequences. A democracy as diverse as India must ensure that no religion feels reduced, no voice feels diminished, and no citizen feels secondary. The responsibility lies with all democratic forces to ensure that the representation remains fair, federalism remains intact, and the constitutional vision remains uncompromised. My friends, we must demand fair delimitation, protection for progressive states, transparency, and national consensus. Then we are not opposing this reform. We are only defending fair representation. We are not raising any fear. We are raising a constitutional warning. Let India remain a union where every state has voice, every citizen has equal dignity, and democracy reflects diversity, not dominance. Thank you, my friends.